So at the outset, let me say that Coronation is very proud of the achievements of the ASISA Foundation. And I'd like to congratulate the team on behalf of Coronation of that achievement. So when in 2012, I think it was, that we were approached to be one of the initial founders, it was almost a natural progression of where Coronation was at that point in time in terms of its other initiatives. And maybe just to shed a bit of light on that, throughout our history, we've always been involved in education and in supporting the startup of businesses, including SMEs. And when we were approached, we didn't have to think about it. From an education perspective, it kind of tied in very, very nicely to what we were doing at that point in time. So our education focus is very much on early childhood development, schools and universities. So with the consumer financial education aspect, it kind of was a natural progression and a tie-in and complemented that string of initiatives. And I think just the nature of what has been proposed to us, so the Hammanskraal program was the first program, and then a rollout to workers, and then to students at TVETs as well. So it was on the ground. We were going to see the tangible evidence almost immediately, and it wasn't only the initiatives, but also the way the foundation went about it. The initiatives were meant to be high impact, but I think more importantly, they were also going to be measured at the end of the day, so we could actually make sure that we were getting, that the impact that it was meant to be having we achieved that at the end of the day. I think from an SME perspective, a lot of our funding goes towards these SMEs, and mainly in the agri space. So micro enterprise is obviously another segment, but it complemented that segment as well. And giving support, it tied in quite nicely to the support, the way we go about our business as well. We don't only give the financial resources, but we also provide the support, the mentoring, and that tied in very well with what the ASISA Foundation was proposing to do at that point in time. So, at the end of the day, it worked out, I think, very well for Coronation in that it complemented the initiatives that we were doing or undertaking at that point in time. From a ASISA Foundation perspective, they were able to collate resources, get the scale that they needed, and achieve the desired outcome. So there's a lot of initiatives out there, right? And they're all impactful. But what the ASISA Foundation brought was both coordination and cooperation at a high level. And not only between the funders, but also in terms of the delivery of the ultimate program. So the foundation is a high impact initiative, and it ultimately harnesses the financial capacity and acumen of its members and their employees to ensure that you have a coordinated program and that it ultimately results in a significant impact on society. And I think that's an important part. Is as I said, there's a lot of programs out there, and they are high impact programs as well. But what sometimes is missing is the measurement of the impact that those programs do. And what ASISA has done through its monitoring and evaluation processes, it has actually brought that to the front. So we know exactly, as a contributor to the foundation, what our impact has been on society. So we know that, for example, 75,000 citizens in this country have been affected either through the FLAME program or the Wire Saver program. And I think that is important because there's limited resources, both financially and from a human capital perspective, in terms of what these initiatives can in terms of the input. So one's got to ensure that you have maximum impact. And in terms of what ASISA Foundation has been able to achieve, I think it's been phenomenal, and more importantly, we're able to measure the output, not only in financial terms, but also in the impact that it has on the lives of the citizens that have been affected by it. And then, if you look at the underlying programs themselves, the FLAME program, which focuses on SMEs, we know that SME growth growth and micro enterprises. It's critical for economic growth, SMEs, and it contributes about 40% to GDP. So that program in itself has a huge impact. We're able to measure the number of participants, the number of people that employ, their turnover, and it's not a once-off program as well. It kind of runs over multiple periods. So you with the entrepreneurs through the stages of their growth and providing the necessary input, mentoring, guidance that's required in getting those micro enterprises to a point. And one looks, if you look at the website, it's very clear from some of the reviews that it has had a significant impact on those individuals. And likewise with education, I think one can't argue that education is critical to create a vibrant and inclusive economy. And there the programs as well. We are able to post each of the initiatives, measure the impact that it's had on those individuals, be it a student, be it a worker. One is able to measure the impact that it's had in terms of their understanding of financial services. So South Africa has quite a complex and sophisticated financial services sector if one compares it globally. And with that complexity comes a host of regulations, legislation, updates. And I think what ASISA provides, or the foundation provides, is a one-stop shop for the trustees and the principal officers to, I think in the first instance, if you're a new principal officer or trustee, you're able to get a better and an in-depth sense of the financial services industry, your responsibilities, etc. And if you are a existing trustee or principal officer, you're able to continually update your knowledge of the industry. And it gives them the comfort knowing that they can approach the foundation to provide them with that insight, given that they are responsible for roughly or in excess of 5 trillion rands worth of savings of their beneficiaries. In turn, I think it also gives the beneficiaries and given that these principal officers and trustees are key components and participants in the financial services sector, it gives the industry and other participants the comfort that the pension fund industry has been well managed, and most importantly, I think, is it will give the beneficiaries the comfort as well that the ultimate fiduciaries of their hard-earned savings are well equipped to look after their interest. I think we're all aware of the systemic challenges facing South Africa at the moment. So I think the focus of the foundation is 100% spot on in terms of education, where a large portion of our population, close to 40%, are unemployed. We're seeing low economic growth for the next year or two. And on the back of that, it is important that people are able to look after their money. They need to have the right skills. They need to have the knowledge. And I think the foundation will enable them to be able to look after their hard-earned cash in a more effective way. I mean, you're saving for retirement, you're saving for your kids' university fees, you're saving for something special. So the more knowledge that you have on your financial affairs and the products out there, I think the better off you are in the long run. From an entrepreneurship point of view, I think it's well documented that entrepreneurship plays a key role in growth and inclusion of society. And as much as there is a focus on tertiary education, universities, I think technical skills plays an important role, but more importantly, it's entrepreneurship that will ultimately drive the economy, given the stats. So as I've mentioned earlier on, 40% of GDP and 60% of employment. I mean, those are important numbers. And to the extent that the foundation is able to continue to focus on those two key initiatives, given the current dynamic in South Africa, I think they'll be able to play a critical role in ensuring that more people are able to participate in the economy and therefore be included in it.